Right, so this linking to the question of the day, the first witness in the trial of the controversial Nigerian Pastor Timothy Omotoso and his two co-accused was back on the stand in the Port Elizabeth High Court. This time under cross-examination, Cheryl Zondi told the court that she never invited the sexual advances of Omotoso. Defense Advocate Peter Daubermann cross-examined Zondi, asking her about her role in the church and how she came to be in contact with the pastor. Let's cross live to our reporter Jayed-Leigh Paulse in Port Elizabeth, and just a warning that some of the details discussed in court today were graphic. So Jayed-Leigh, at one point the defense was saying that the judge was trying to protect Cheryl Zondi. What had he asked her? What was at issue here?
That's right, Francis. I mean, we saw Judge Mandela Makahula often reprimanding Defense Advocate Peter Daubermann for his line of questioning. I mean, the questioning was totally out. He alleged that, Zondi did not know what her thighs were from a vagina. He also asked Zondi, how much centimeters or how many centimeters of Omotoso's penis actually penetrated her vagina. Totally out questions. Zondi obviously fired back. She did not hold back, and she told the prosecutor, the defense advocate Peter Daubermann rather, that she did know in fact what happened to her, that he was not there on the day that she was sexually assaulted, sexually molested by Timothy Omotoso when she was 14 years old, and that she in fact went through that ordeal. You would know if you had watched that, the defense trying to tear into her testimony, trying to find loopholes, trying to find holes in her testimony, and basically said that most of her testimony was fabricated. Francis.
So are you saying she wasn't rattled? Did she continue with seemingly strong testimony?
Well, look, it was under cross-examination. So basically what the defense was trying to do was trying to find flaws within her testimony, also often going back to that charge sheet and asking her why did she not use the correct wording that she used in her testimony. Now, in her testimony, she said that Timothy Omotoso used his penis and would rub on her vagina, whereas the defense advocate was not happy with that words. He said that she needed to be explicit like she was in her testimony and use the exact wording. He would also often ask her the same question several times. This also annoyed the judge, Mandela Makahula, and he would often reprimand the defense advocate, saying that, you cannot ask her a question several times when she in fact answered this. I mean, we saw the state prosecutor and Lebantel were also becoming very perturbed, very annoyed with the defense line of questioning, and also asked that, they ask a question and move on with the proceedings. So a lot of the questioning was around that charge sheet, the time she took her statement down with the police officer in Johannesburg, the details around her testimony, the wording that she used as well. Zondi also came out saying that on the day that she took down her statement, she was very traumatized. It was a flashback of what had happened to her, and that the wording that she used, she just used it because it was close to what now she used in her testimony. But the defense advocate was not having that. He said that she should use the exact words that came out of her statement when she is on stand. Francis.
And tell us more about what the judge said, because this is such a big issue. How should you deal with people talking about sexual violations against them? He's the arbiter of what is fair here. Just tell us more.
Well, I think the sentiment in court was that the defense advocate should have been more sensitive when cross-examining Zondi. I mean, words such as when he was referring to her going back to Omotoso's room, so you knew that you were going to get raped again. Wording such as that, almost preempting or alleging that she wanted to get raped. And that's when we saw Judge Mandela Makahula stepping in and saying that, you cannot speak to the witness like that. Choose your words correctly, Advocate Daubermann. Daubermann. Also, I will not have that line of questioning in my court. You will not speak to the witness in that manner. So we saw a lot of words like, you knew you were going to be raped if you walked back into the room. Why did you go back to the church if you knew that he was molesting you? You were 14 years old. Why did you travel alone on a bus from Secunda all the way to KZN to attend a church rally if you knew that Omotoso was raping you? So a lot of the words were alleging that she wanted to be raped, that she was involved in the process, which was not the case. We saw Zondi coming up, firing back, saying that it happened to her. She was assaulted. She dealt with it. She was 14 years old. She did not know who to turn to. She saw Omotoso like a father figure. She saw the church like a safe haven. She didn't know what to do. So by her going back to the church did not mean that she wanted to be raped, but she wanted to return back to her family, to return back to the church, which she had known for all the months prior to the incident with Omotoso.
Jayed-Leigh, very quickly, we're running out of time, but you've said that church members are still there. They've been supporting him. Was that the case today?
Very much so. I mean, throughout the court proceedings, we saw church congregants of the Jesus Dominion International Church protesting, picketing outside, holding placards, wearing Free Omotoso shirts, chanting that Omotoso be freed. They simply believe that these witnesses that are taking to the stand, 49 witnesses that will take to the stand after Cheryl Zondi's testimony, that they're all lying, that this is a spiritual attack, and that Timothy Omotoso will prevail after the court proceedings. But I must make mention of the fact, Francis, before we go, that in court we also saw Timothy Omotoso's wife also chuckling, laughing at Zondi's testimony, and then you saw the ANC Women's League and several members of the public also standing by and throwing their weight behind Zondi and cheering her on and supporting her. Francis.
All right, incredible. Thank you very much, Jayed-Leigh Paulse, and she'll continue to follow the Omotoso